Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture.
And welcome to my episode 5 for 2024.
If you don't know, Saturday Morning Makes is an open art collaborative that was created by my sweet friend Jillian Norwood. I will link downstairs to her channel. She created Saturday Morning Makes several years ago. I think it was at the start of COVID, if memory serves correct. And yeah, if you would like to participate, whatever you make, it does not have to be paper crafts, definitely doesn't have to be cards. Whatever you make, if you would like to share it on this particular venue, all you have to do is post it to whichever social media platform you prefer and use the hashtag SatMornMakes. That's it. If you want to be sure that Jill comes to see it, since this is Jill's project, if you will, go ahead and tag her at Jillian Norwoods, or it might be at Greenwood Girl Cards. Either way, that will bring her to you, and she gets around as much as she's able, but she always says that if you specifically want her to see something, go ahead and tag her, and that way she will be alerted to your project. And with all that being said, I'm going to jump on into my makes for today. I do apologize for being a little late. My son's birthday is this week, and I was able to meet up with him outside of Raleigh this afternoon and spend some time with him. So always good celebrating my kiddos. But this card, it's a kind of a calamity of errors. So this particular piece is what inspired the card. Let me move these other things out of the way so we can focus on one thing. So this strip right here, this stencil is from A Colorful Life Designs. It's, I can't remember if it's a layered stencil or not. I feel like it is. But I used some ink blending and then I used some paste. But this strip has been in my stash for a while. I made a card with it when I initially did the stencil work, and then I just loved it, so I kept it. But I found it the other day going through my my scraps, and I pulled it out. I wanted to make something springy, and then I found this pattern paper that coordinated really well. And this is kind of a color shifting paste, if you will, because it's more pink and then it's more coral. Just kind of depends on how the light is hitting it. But I went with the coral, and I don't know if you can see, but at that angle it's very, very coral, and the paper matches perfectly. And then I found these two confettis. This one is obvious. I mean, they're both pink, right? But this one has more of a coral tone to it, and I thought it was going to work. And then when I got them in there, they don't work quite so well. So, so there's that. But this is a strip and this is a strip, and the way that I decided to bridge them together was to put this acetate panel in between, and that again is kind of like a bridge to hold it all together. And then I added some strips of white cardstock across the top and the bottom, and that's what created that shaker window. So yeah, so it's a calamity of errors because in my opinion the colors just don't work, but or the tones of pink. Once I realized that those pinks look a little bit different outside of their bulk when they're in more of a shaker situation and they're not so bunched up, I said, oh well, we're going to finish this. And so I found this pink plaid paper, and I thought it was adorable. And then once I got it die cut and adhered, I realized it's not quite the right pink either. So this is my not quite right pink card, and I think it's very happy. I think someone will like it. No one's going to tear it apart the way I do, but I say we need to be more kind to ourselves, and we do, but in this instance it's specifically me that's being unkind. So anyway, these are the two confettis that I use. This one is called Guava Sparkle. This one is Iridescent Light Pink. Both very, very pretty. And so with that said, I'm going to move on to my next pile. So I told my kiddo that I was feeling yellow, and I don't know if you guys ever feel a color. Hang on, I need a sip. Oh, sorry. Yellow is one of my favorite colors, and I was just feeling it. So I pulled out my my bin. I have a bunch of different file folders full of pattern paper and colored cardstock scraps. And this is my yellow, and it is much less than it was a day or so ago. But I just pulled out some lightweight cardstock, put a bunch of glue on it, and then I just added my strips of cardstock, and then I just trimmed it down. And then, of course, this one I have run through with a die from my stash. It is my stitched rectangle die. Right here. It's probably my most used. It's very basic, but it's my most used. And that cut off all the excess of the scrap paper that was hanging off the edge, and it gave it a nice clean perfed cut, and I think it's beautiful. And then I ran it through this embossing folder from Spellbinders. E is in elephant, 3, D is in David, -030. Again, it's Spellbinders. I think it's very pretty, and I just love that leaf motif, and it just added some dimension to the card. I think it's really pretty. Now you could take a sanding block and sand some of that down, and you'd have the image, the embossed image would show through as a white. Or you can take a brayer and roll over the top of it. You could take an ink pad and do the same thing. I just wanted the texture and the dimension, so just left that alone. These other two panels I've not done anything with after I added the pattern paper. And you can see that I wasn't worried about necessarily filling in all the gaps. I'm not worried about that little hole there. I'm not worried that it's not all the way up to the edges, because you can always cover things up, you can trim things down. And the whole idea when you strip it up like this as, what is her name? Laura Basson. She calls it stripping it up. When you strip it up like this, it does create interest because they're not all the same. It's kind of a patchwork design, if you will, but it's not patchworky, but the same concept. But anyway, I just feel like the yellow is very happy. I am ready for spring, forsythia and tulips and daffodils. All that should be coming up and blooming soon. This is mid-February in North Carolina. We've had some rather warm days. We're not done with winter yet by any means, but I'm just ready. And so with 2 more of those panels, I made these 2 cards. So I used this stamp set. Excuse me for reaching. I used this stamp from my stash. It's from the Cool Chicks collection at Stamping Bella. It's called Easter Bonnet Chick. And the sentiment says, to one of my favorite peeps. And I think he's just an adorable little boy holding that chicken on his head as a bonnet, and the chicken has a bonnet on its head. Come on. It's just super cute. So stamped it out a couple times, colored it up. You can see I made my boys ginger. The skin turned out a little gray, which is kind of weird. I don't know what I did. My vision hasn't been great lately. Kind of blurry. It's time for a new prescription on my glasses. But that's part of what happened with the Calamity of Errors pink card. My vision just wasn't great, and the colors were looking like they were coordinating, but they were not. Anyway, I think they're super cute. I left the edges. I die cut with circle dies. These circles from Whimsy Stamps. The pierced and stitched circle dies, and layered up both of the images on top of a yellow circle, and then offset them both to the edge of the card. This one obviously to the left, this one to the right. And I did this one a little bit further over. I was purposeful about that because I wanted more of the panel to show. I mean, plenty of it shows on this one, but these pattern papers are different from these. These are basically just stripes, and these have a lot of different things going on, and I just thought they were very interesting. So I wanted more of it to show. But then on both of them, I added a little piece of ribbon. I can't remember where this ribbon came from. It was wrapped around a purchase recently, but anyway, that, and then buttons from my stash, and then some twine. Sentiment to one of my favorite peeps. Fussy cut it out, or bubble cut, I guess is what they call it. The image and the eggs and the sentiment are all popped up on foam tape. And then I added some clear iridescent sequins from This Calls for Confetti, just for a little bit of shine. I thought I might add some shimmer spray, but I don't think they need it. I think they're cute. Again, the coloring is a little bit off, but I think overall they're really cute. And I don't think anybody's going to say, hey, your coloring is off. So anyway, there's those two cuties. And then to support Miss Tina over at Crafty Bean, she is hosting hashtag of February. And in the same way as I mentioned, if you wanted to participate with Saturday Morning Makes, just share your project with the hashtag. Same thing with this. Share your gingerbread project, hashtag gingerbread of February. And it's not gingerbread men, and it's not in gingerbread of February with the hashtag. And anything you make, just use that hashtag. If you specifically, excuse me, since Tina is hosting it, if you specifically want Tina to see it, go ahead and tag her, and she will be alerted to that request, and she will come and see your project as she is able. So the two projects that I'm going to share come from similar pattern papers to these. Now these come from a box. It's like a calendar. It's like a pattern paper a day for a year. Several of the days coordinate, obviously, because I'm holding remnants of this is one day, this is one day, this is one day. But yeah, I've had this for literally 20 years and used them very little. But this is the card that I've made. And I don't know if you can see, but I've trimmed the panel down. It's the white panel. I trimmed it down, and then I fussy cut around the top. And then I added her to a die cut red layer, and I just think it's super cute. Now, once I got it all adhered down, I added some, hang on, some of this white contour paste, and I just went over where the frosting elements would be, and I just added some dots down at the bottom, let that dry, and then, excuse me, I die cut this white panel with a scallop stitch rectangle die from Whimsy, added this trim or this twine from my stash, mounted it up on some double-sided foam tape, and then I added the Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas is from Simon Says Stamp, and the red and yellow plaid, red, yellow, and black plaid, the black is in there. It's just from my stash. It's from my red scrap bin, actually. And so that is how that card came to be. And I need to do something so that that's not down in her face. But I also think that I want to put a little snowflake right there. I haven't done it, obviously, but I think that I will. And then I also have these two little ATCs. Again, I've just used scraps to make the border, the top and the bottom of this one, and then the red gingham all the way around this one, because see where you can see all the white around the edge? You can't really see it on this one as well because it's mounted to the white cardstock. But that's all the images are. So I just added extra, they're just scraps really, around the edges just to give them more oomph. But I used the same scallop stitch rectangle die, a scallop sprinkles rectangular dies from Whimsy to die cut these ATCs out. And I've not put anything on the back. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to share them or not. I usually don't put anything on the back of mine. I have stamps from Whimsy to do so. If I actually share, then I try to remember. But anyway, I went back in after I got these all adhered down and all the glue was dry and everything. Then I went back in with this contour, and I did the same thing where the frosting would be, and then little dots in the corners. And that is it. Those are my projects for today, guys. So I've got some hashtag Snowman of February. I've got Saturday Morning Makes. I've got my yellow feels. And then I've got my Calamity of Errors pink card. So that is what I have. Again, guys, if you want to participate, just use the hashtag. We'd love to see what you're making. Make sure you use the hashtag, because if you don't, then we won't find you when we search the hashtag. If you like this video, I ask you to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, I ask you to do that. I'd love to have you back. I'll be coming back at you very soon with some very fun videos and projects for the rest of this month, and then of course the coming years. And I'm going to be working on a hashtag collaborative with a crafty friend, and some design team stuff, lots of stuff coming up. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. And if you are new, obviously I welcome you. If you are not so new and returning with me today, I thank you. I love you guys. New, old, near, far, you guys are the best. I appreciate you. Your confidence, your encouragement, your support, your love, your kind words, all of that just keeps me going. So I thank you, and until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, and I'm out. Mwah.